Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really powerful idea. What if the secret to getting incredible results isn't some massive, life-changing event, but actually tiny, almost invisible daily habits?
You know that feeling, right? It's so frustrating. Well, you are definitely not alone. We're going to get into James Clear's huge bestseller, Atomic Habits, to figure out why change is so darn hard, and more importantly, how we can finally make good habits stick. Okay, so the first big idea from the book is a game changer. What if the problem isn't you? What if it's your system? We tend to repeat bad habits over and over, not because we don't have willpower, but because we're kind of using the wrong instruction manual for change.
Thanks. So, if our system is the problem, what's the fix? Well, it all starts with something that seems almost ridiculously small. The core idea here is that these tiny atomic habits are where the real power is. Think of them as the fundamental building blocks for making real, lasting change.
It's so easy to get caught up looking for that one big, defining moment of transformation. But Atomic Habits argues the real magic is actually the exact opposite. It's in these tiny 1% improvements that are so small you might not even notice them on any single day.
And this number right here, this shows you the mind-blowing power of compounding. If you get just 1% better each day for a year, you don't just get 365% better. Nope. You end up nearly 38 times better than when you started. That's how time becomes your biggest ally, turning these tiny gains into something truly incredible. So here's the big mindset shift the book asks us to make. For a minute, forget about your goals. Focus completely on your system instead. Clear's argument is that you don't rise to the level of your goals. You actually fall to the level of your systems. A good system is what makes sure you're always moving forward no matter what.
And this is where it gets really deep. The most powerful change happens when it's tied to your identity. See, your behaviors are basically just a reflection of who you believe you are. So the real goal isn't just to do a thing, it's to become a certain type of person. Every little action you take is like casting a vote for the person you want to be.
Thanks, Host B. That connection between habits and identity is absolutely crucial. So, how do we actually build those habits? You know, the ones that cast the right votes for who we want to become. Well, James Clear gives us a really simple, practical toolkit for it, the 4 laws of change. These 4 laws are like a simple checklist you can use for any good habit you want to build. The whole point is to design a process that's so obvious you can't ignore it, so attractive you actually want to do it, so easy you can't say no, and so satisfying that you want to do it again and again. It's all about making the right choice the easiest choice.
And what's so brilliant about this is that it works in reverse too. To break a bad habit, you just flip the script. You make the cue for it invisible. You make the habit itself unattractive and difficult, and you make the result totally unsatisfying. It's the same logic, just inverted.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But does it actually work for real people? Let's take a look at a few examples of how people have put these ideas into practice and gotten some amazing results.
This is a perfect example of the 2-minute rule, which is all about that third law, make it easy. The idea is that any new habit should take less than 2 minutes to start. It sounds almost too simple, but it lowers the barrier so much that you actually get started, which is the hardest part.
I love this one. The focus here is just on mastering the very first steps. By defining the win as just showing up, this person is reinforcing their identity as someone who goes to the gym. The workout itself almost becomes secondary. Showing up is the real victory.
And here we see a classic example of habit stacking, which helps you make it obvious. You're literally piggybacking a new habit you want to build onto a habit that's already completely automatic. The old habit, making tea, becomes the trigger for the new one. It's so simple and so effective.
All right, the last big key is this. Motivation is overrated. Your environment often matters way, way more. In fact, the most disciplined people aren't necessarily stronger than us. They're just better at structuring their lives so they don't even have to use willpower in the first place. You can literally become the architect of your habits. You can design your space so that good habits are the path of least resistance. You're not trying to fight temptation. You're just removing it from the equation. You're making the cues for your good habits impossible to miss, and the cues for your bad habits totally invisible.
You know, this quote on the screen really is the heart of the whole book. It's not about some distant goal. It's about right now, this very moment. Every tiny action, choosing the apple, putting on your running shoes, reading just one page. It's all a little piece of evidence, a vote for the person you're becoming. So, as we wrap this up, the only real question is, with your very next action, who are you casting your vote to be?